Hi everyone, it's Rachel from Sage. Okay, yep, I've got a bit of a mess here. I'm going to attempt to do a couple of things here. First of all, depot some shades from palettes that I think I will most likely declutter. And yeah, depotting for the first time actually. I've never really done this before. So it's going to be a bit crazy, I think. But you can see I've got one shade out there. I got these magnetic palettes to reorganize my depotted shades as well as my singles because they just take up so much room. And I think I can recycle this hard plastic packaging. So I've already depotted this shade, L'Oreal Unsurpassed Matte, in this palette here, and you can see it's a well-used shade. So this is going to be a palette that's sort of going to become an everyday one for me. So let's see how this goes. Okay, and you can see I've got all sorts of things here. I've got knives and tweezers and whatever. All right, let's do it. So just attempting to get this shade out of its container. I've got to give it a pretty good tug there. I'm going to have to go in with the knife to ease it out a bit further. There it is, coming out now. And this shade is another of the L'Oreal singles, Fighter. It's a beautiful satin matte. This is the second one of these I've had, so I really love this formula. I believe it's discontinued, although you can still find them at Chemist Warehouse, this particular format. L'Oreal don't really make a lot of eyeshadows anymore. Is it coming out now? Finally coming out. Please excuse my ragged nails. Ooh, there's a lot of glue there. What's hanging on? Oh wow. Okay, I'm going to have to confront that glue. Right, I successfully navigated that, and beautiful everyday wearable shade is now in the magnetic palette. Oh dear. Starting to get a little bit easier each time now. So that third shade there is probably my most worn, as you can see, and it is the shade, I think it's Force. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Force. This is my second one of these, so I really love this particular shade. Okay, getting easier now. I think I'm going to make this mostly matte, this palette. So I'm going in now with the black in Perseverance, this shade is. Let's see how I go with this one on camera. Right. This is the shade Commander. Let's see how this one goes. This has actually got a bit of sheen in it, this one. It's almost the same color as this towel that I'm working, that I'm doing everything on. Yes, this is the challenge, to not destroy the shadows, but remove them at the same time. And my hands are getting really sticky from this rather horrible glue. Anyway, that one's in. We're getting there. Let's see how much more of this I can stand before I'm like, okay, I'm done. This Barry M1 is much newer, and this is tinier. It's also quite crumbly, fully matte. Let's see if it can come out of its little container. So a different formula, different brand, of course. Oh, that's not going too well, is it? I may have destroyed that one. Okay, I may have destroyed the Barry M1 altogether. Now we've got an Essence Holo, what are they called? Holo Powder. And this shade is Honestly Me. These are really, really nice. You can use them as a highlighter as well. Gee, that's coming out super easily. Thank you, Essence. But it's round, so it's going to throw off the palette. But I can get rid of some of that packaging, which is great. And it can be recycled because it's hard plastic. And, you know, really, here's the second one that I've got. This is the shade Cotton Candy. It's more pink. But the lids really annoy me on them because they pop off all the time, unless they're in that cardboard outer, which is not convenient either. Right, so it's another holo powder, very faint holo, but beautiful. Let's have a look at the palette so far. Very wearable every day, you agree? I think you would. In goes the L'Oreal, another L'Oreal one in, a matte one in Independence, that rosy pink, very lovely, getting better. And now we've got a satin pink called Achiever. Let me just move these around a little bit. So here's the end result of the depotting of these all older shadows. I have to say my magnetic palette is not very magnetized, and my repressing of these shades here is not great. They're very crumbly, so they may not last anyway, but I'm going to try and get a bit more use out of them. So I repressed electric. There's not much, I didn't get much out of that pan, but then it went into a really big pan, so that's probably why. I think this will work really well for my L'Oreal singles, these ones. But these ones at the bottom, I just don't know. So they came out of that dupe palette, the Fogo one, right? From Go To Beauty, which I have purchased from Crown Brush Australia before. Yeah, look, this is only my first attempt, everyone. So this is just going to be, you know, using up these shadows, which are not, you know, would have been in my Pan That palette project anyway. And these are all older shadows. Right. I have thoroughly butchered my ABH Subculture palette. Now this has, you know, these shades here are basically ones that I just don't wear, and the quality of them really is not great. My two, well, this has always been one of my most worn shades, but it's gone very, very dry now, so I'm not actually going to try and depot it, but I am going to try Electric and Cube because I really love them. Adorn, I've got lots of pan on. I don't know that it's worth saving because I have lots of shades like that in my collection. So let's see how I go, trying to save Cube and Electric at least. Finally got it. Finally got Cube out. Wow, that was an effort. Okay, so it can fit there really well. Hooray! I had to really butcher it, didn't I? So I got Adorn out at least. I've made a real meal of that. But Electric is not relenting, which is interesting. And I'm definitely repressing it if I do ever manage to get it out. Right, so the Barry M single shadow that I butchered in Whispered. Okay, it's one of those clickable ones. I've taken the actual pan out and I'm going to I've sort of crumbled up Electric and I'm going to scoop it into there and then repress it. So hopefully I can save it that way from ABH. So that's now what that palette looks like. Okay, guess what's happening to it? And this is what the Fogo palette now looks like. Yep, guess what's happening to it? So I've got an acetate here from another palette that I'm going to lay on there, and hopefully once I close the lid on that, everything will sort of start to settle in place. So I'll leave that now for, to clean it up again, leave that now for a day or two and see how it goes. Oh, thanks for watching. I hope you weren't too bored with that. I will continue to attempt to put round ones in another palette, and maybe by then my process might be a bit more refined. Let's hope. Okay. Since I did that first palette, I've now done an all shimmer palette. That's those two Essence ones up there, and the rest are from, that's a Moira one. And the rest of them are from another palette, which I will mention in a declutter video later. But yeah, that one I seem to work quite well. So, oh, that one's not shimmer, that's a matte. I don't know, it snuck in there. Anyway, yes, my process is improving, which is, I'm sure, a relief, certainly to myself and probably to you as well. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.